this snack, Fruiton, and this happens again. It's like the fair we still in the country, especially in the capital, as the non on the 60 result. 60% results according to these. I'm going to try for explain a little bit. You see, so your man there, see police man there, um, you know, we you see another video there, not enough on you see how streets in the other side there. Family what feel like this now we a continuation of the special elections coverage on Riyadh and TV Salon. And right now get about over 2,000 people really watch it online. Um, you know, we right now they watch it across the country or across the world. That's what the country will give updates from Riyadh and TV Salon. No go no side, stay with me. As we continue to give updates round the clock uh, as CDC. So we said we've been trying for work on for CD data we CSL don't present. After all, we don't look out, try for make sense out of them. So we say we own team, try for do like a simple tally, or try for because you know see already ECSL give the results. They just give like a blanket like a blanket result where they announce and not be able to give people like clear information on who side and who side this information come out or so. So we said try for tabulate a little bit the election results and say probably now this way not the best thing where for be able to do where for be able to make more sense. Okay. So based on the results where they do announce, if not so then we do make a bit more clear because like you see we will try for do like this table and tabulate them in a way. So maybe if I don't be like according to the total votes we don't come out, the percentages and all of that, you know, and also how each candidate score, you know, according to what they announced. Don't forget to say the total number of votes or the one they will register we supposed for vote will be around 3,374,314, you know, and waiting and announced so far, all this the candidate around gets be about, you know, around 1,908,988 so far out of what they announced. So which means what they don't announce, if you look to that one day, that percentage there about 56.87% and still left around 43.43%. If they be able to put it this way, maybe it will be more clear for the people that will make them understand. And if you look into the parties, them how each party gets, for example, you see the total number of votes cast with SLPP gets inside this first announcement, according to Connect, 1,067,666. Okay, so if you put them as against the total number of registered voters, which is 3,374,000, and like they don't get 31.64%. Okay, 31.64%. Then if you look APC Samora, which in don't get, that's 793,751. Samora gets 23.52%. Okay. So if you put into all land now and put it all the other for the other party, they all get to see NDA gets 0.24%, TMBC gets 0.29%, REFP gets 0.14%, PLP gets 0.15%, PDP gets 0.14%, CDP gets 0.13%, UNPP gets 0.12%, NURP gets 0.11%, UDP gets 0.1%, and RENIP gets 0.09%. Okay. Then finally ADP gets 0.08%. So if you put all that one day together, it will give you a total of 56.95% already we dead on issue for. But if not so let me do it, maybe it will be more clear to people and let them able to understand. But because I just give that blanket, um, it make people and begin doubt. Because normally that's what they will do in a salon. It broke down the vote cast per station, sorry, per candidate of our party, and then they broke down into districts. So now this, which means we still get um, remaining of around 43.45%, we still left. We if this tally will go right, but in this case, then just say and give me like this. So not go and look by district. This not just by party, because like I say, we try to work them out and see how we say let it will make more sense to me. All right. So now look at this. So if we go to district level, okay, out of what you don't carry inside, if we able to go into district level, if I don't be the district na Kailang, give me the number of registered voters, the number of votes where they don't cast already, the valid votes, but the votes where they don't vote where valid, invalid votes, like the void votes we commodity, then the total votes. All right. Normally that will be expected, but we will make more sense. Okay. So now, like we say, we try for see, let's say like Kailang, for example. If we're able to tell we say inside Kailang, the total people we register for vote like this, the votes that we then cast like this, the void votes like this, the one that we don't count like this, and the percentage we don't count like this, and the one who not counted like in this, and now this before they're able to tell you. That if we're able to make more sense. Go from one district to another, to Cambia, to Kenema. So that will make more sense. All right. Due to what we try for develop a little bit of some kind of table or see we able to tally and make more sense to me. But that blanket way they give me right now, I make it a lot of people are confused. Just say 60%. 60% of what? The total, well, if you say you don't get almost, you say you don't get 60%. But what we try for tabulator, based on waiting una already don't say now any candidates can get, okay, you see the figures there, right? So you see how what they don't announce go into every party or every candidate. We'll put them together at 56.95%, which means you're not even reach 60%. According to William tabulation, we'll try for make a rough, tabulation with waiting they don't announce. So which means it's still at like 43.35%. We put together they give 100%. But they don't say that 60%. So how did 60% reach there? And my total of 1,911,000 votes, 403, now you already announced it. Okay, which is 56.95%. So how you reach 60%? So right now, plus minus, it's still left 1,464,855 votes we still left for count, which is 43.35%. This is like a simple table form for able to analyze this information better for able to understand. But unfortunately, then no give you this kind of format and just we'll say 60%. All right. So now you make it a lot of people will be confused. A lot of people will be confused. So now this should maybe easier than ever explain more. As you said, you don't see the percentage, you don't see the total votes. That is we they register all over the country. You don't see the votes we they cast according to what they don't announce right now. You see an ending at the green, you see the party they name at the white, you see the candidates they name there at the extreme over and left. And so you see the party or the political party, they see the votes cast, they see the total votes, and they see the percentage. So we on percentage, we will have the announcement of 56.95% on Weird and TV Salon, with our salon online media, So probably they need to explain more about what's we go. Okay. So now these are some of the issues. But now, as you said, they watch them, all they continue, they try for highlights around the EU then press conference when at the European Union they observing mission and salon. What are we try to put them in Creole so that we want to be able to understand more of what they try to say. So the EU they now hold a press conference based on what they observe at the election and salon. Okay, we then we talk. The woman we na the chief observer, when they talk, he say they observe 50 polling stations, and inside that 50 polling stations, now only two are they open on time, which means all the other 42 side they observe 50. Inside them the staff or the agent every day. Out of 50, now only two open on time. The other one is not open on time at all. They also talk about intimidation and violence. They say they record a whole lot of issues related from intimidation and violence, maybe, and they intimidate other people that don't vote, especially the one that we deal with opposition parties. And also, you talk about violence, where they use violence against people, and especially people that we come on opposition parties as well. They also talk about the live ammunition wey dem fire na Potloko, na Freetown and Kwenedubu on election day. So e say EU capture that information dey back, say dem fire live ammunition na Freetown, dem fire live ammunition na Potloko, dem fire live ammunition at Kwenedubu district on election day. Wey e say dem also observe that and dem feel say that no good. E also talk about insecurity. See plenty side wey dem go, some people a lot of insecurity wey people dey feel say you know, they're afraid because of the too much of security up and down. Okay. They also talk about say they see violence. Now 7 polling stations. They say the observer that they see violence, that is fet or ala. They say now 7 polling stations that decided where they observe, where EU be observe. And they also talk about the EU they mean observe say Potloko, Freetown, and Makeni, they get some kind of violence and ala when they get from disturb the people and maybe the food stay. And you talk about the tally and the result management. Say the tallying and the result management, say most of the time it begin late, and then this affects the process. And they say the tabulation not always transparent, meaning when they put the data together or tabulate the result, they say it's not always transparent. The European Union, they also move for one day. And they say one key or something very, very important we also want to touch on any election forget transparency, which means if we open all the system, all the processes for open, and if we get timely information and communication, which means the elections people if we able pass information timely, and if we open up the system so that people will able to see for no say this system is credible. So that will be a big issue. And also you say again a lot of missteps, which is the elections commissions alone, they say make a lot of missteps by the stage them when they move towards the election, because in say election, not to just one day no more go vote. They say but you get plenty steps. Say but along those steps and they sound like the elections commission makes plenty of missteps during that process there. We talk about insufficient transparency. See, Boku side and they during this election business, they say they don't get sufficient transparency. They're not open. They don't get open book at all. Boku say are like secret business no more. They say they observe the EU observe during the process. We talk about the reduce of public confidence. They say election forget public confidence. People for trust say the election, the people who handle they all well. They say, but then is the way they talk about so say that they reduce public confidence by the election or the results, where they get for the final result. And you also see the elections commissioners alone, they lack clear communication with the public. So they're not really communicate well with the public at all, the elections commission. I think say this even the opposition party then there is for example, first they say we print the ballot paper in South Africa. Then later on they say no, we want to wait for go hatch them for can't vote. We print out one and back in the salon top. So you say the EU elections mission observe say the ECSL they lack clear communication with the public. And just they do certain things and not they talk openly to the public, where the public know what they happen. Okay. You come on it come to the campaign period. They say the campaign period, the start of the campaign, they say it be peaceful where the campaign be start, say it be peaceful. People the campaign, that time they say problem not be too much. They say, but as how it go, and the campaign begin tight. Some side in the tight, they allow people to go there and they begin restrict people their movement and their freedom. And particularly in the southeast, so I say the tight people in the opposition party, do their campaign free and fair. And we also talk about live ammunition, where they use during the campaign process, wherein so the amount of policemen and then fire live bullets or then fire gun, and they say even they kill one person, that person, where they kill a free talk. That's the way the opposition party they want to raise their concerns when they say they need protest. They say they also capture them when they use the live rounds and even the person will die. We talk about the election ballots. We not for big bullets. They say election, when they talk about election, they say for be about ballots. All man for able campaign fair and fair, let them vote for if they want. Because election, say for be but ballot, but not to bullets. Meaning not to by gun or by force or by security for force people, but for be about ballots. The people like vote for you willingly so that if you win, you win. Then we talk about reduced fairness. Say 2010 at the southeast, he said they may stop the opposition people for campaign. So we then reduce fairness, which means fairness not be there for the campaign business, especially when it comes to the southeast, because they may restrict the opposition party them for campaign day. He also talk about the media, where he said the ruling party, the SLPP party, then use a lot of government media, and then they use them government media like the SLBC or the other media houses them way close to the government. They say they use them a lot for propagate the issues. They say they're in the back, they observe and during the process. We talk about no national debates. They say debates not been there, unfortunately, then they feel say the presidential debates for been there. Say but no presidential debates for there, unfortunately. So they capture that debate. So the candidate will come for talk to the people and let the people really sound things on what they don't do or what they do for the debates not been there. Then we also talk about media poverty, which is the pasmak poor by the media houses, journalists and salon, and the radio and TV stations. So now I make Boku and sell the media time, what they for use for investigate the rights issues, but they use them for selling to political parties, but then they use the station there for campaign, for play adverts, for promote parties, and instead of they use them for ask the right questions. I say that because the media pasmak poor in the country. We also talk about the social media. They say social media, they get plenty of divisive messages. People have been promote divisive messages like hate, regional messages, and bad messages that they help for divide the country. We talk about /I verified, another the Salon Association of Journalists, and get one I verify, when I verify information, the fake news, and they say no, this is not fake news, or information we not to true, say no, this is not true. I said that process they will help because that's like I verify the help for the cipher the news for me. We saw we not fake news and we saw we not to fake news. Okay. We talk about transparency. Okay. They say what thing they happen right now as the collation and the counting they go, they say still they as observer and they still follow the process. Say they still follow the process closely. They say and sometimes and they this tabulation and this content really go on so sometimes and they lack transparency, which means it's not open at all for say it fair so that people are able to see and know everything really go on and the current counting and the tabulation of results really take place right now. This something and even the data entry. They say the data entry itself is not too open up when they enter the data, saying that the voter they have when they enter the system, not too transparent. They say and once they the ECSF no say and for correctness and for restore confidence in the people we don't vote. And he said, he believes say no problem, no the way ask for solve. Any problem there's solution. If problem there, they must find solution for solver. So he say the process not done it. He hope say the ECSL, even when you continue to count and we will solve some of them problem they have, then they are right so. Then the head of delegation, where he say in a member of the EU Parliament, also talk about say he's endorsed the statement, which means he agree with the statement, everything where the head of delegation talk. The chief observer talk. He say he as head of delegation, he agree with that statement, the 100%, and he endorse it. They say plenty term divisive language. People have known the divisiveness of the politics, ethno-regional and violence. Say that they're not fine for country, we don't suffer from war, and people have know that. And also the responsibility then at the elections commission to make sure say then do that and they say let plan another. And they say lack of campaign finance rules. They say most times or inside salon, they not get campaign finance rules. And if campaign finance rules not they person can use all kind of money for campaign, whether not government money and they use that for campaign, or maybe whether money some side or whatever. I say but campaign finance rules for the like other country. We want campaign finance rules for this. You know, say they pull you money for campaign. Or your money anyway the shape, say pull on them kinds of so on. So now you come to the post-electoral. They say the post-electoral process, then condemn the violence we happened yesterday now the APC party office, where it's a government policeman with their man and who fire they and they don't kill one person, say them condemn the violence there, and all really glad about that as the European Union Observers Mission. And also they said they want let the judiciary be independent, then courts system. So you can carry a case to them for whatever reason. They need to be independent so that they can make sure so whether get rights, get rights, whether not get rights, not get rights. Okay. Then come out to the questions. People let me ask them some questions about certain things. Somebody asked one question where he said, waiting the European Union thing, say waiting don't happen so. If they announce the government where the people that maybe they not vote for, if they don't go undermine the mandate of the election or the new government. Well, in say not to their own, not to the European Union, their own point standing for the side, but the Salon people are for the side. The only thing we then for do, then they pull the reports and they therefore make recommendations about what they observe in the process. But the recommendations then we do the last, you know. Then they ask them back the question about the late opening of pools in plenty side. We talk about say the side and with then the European Union they observe 2 out of 50 polling stations but there are only 2 open on time. The 48 they're not open on time. That's 7 o'clock. Polling will start. So we say they observe 50 polling stations, for example, there are only 2 open out of 50. We repeat that. Okay. Then you talk about people ask and say, well, we don't see the 60% voting. Voting the EU then will do as far as this concern now and waiting left for court. Now you say, well, right now we all continue for wait because in belief say the election not do it, country still they go and just don't announce the 60%, whether they don't announce. Say, but they all man continue for wait and the process still they go. They can say the election not done it, it's still being forced. And he hopes say whatever is recommend, probably the European the elections commission will correct that. And he talk about the challenges. Say somebody they ask about the challenges and he talk about a whole lot of things they observe as challenges in the process. He talk about trust, say meaning people and the trust we get for the elections commission will be reduced. Plenty, say that in a challenge. We talk about transparency, or like say the ECSL, they not get open book. They're not open up in what they do, where is that now an issue. Okay. We talk about even for communicate timely, for pass the information at the right time. Only able to explain and tell people what they happen. So now they have another challenge. And then they will not say and throughout. When they say, what will I do? Don't do this. No, we're not do this. When I publish this information, no, we're not a publisher. This and now, don't go the ballot paper and they can start from South Africa. No, we don't publish it on a photo, we don't print it on a photo for people. So online they say the observers say the communication from the ECSL, the flow with the public and even the party themselves. We talk about the mistrust. It's people ask and say, what do you think about the mistrust? Where is talk about people that then get for the commission? I say, well, if you say the commission not for allow mistrust for day, as far as they were concerned, but when they talk about say the process not doing it and they continue to observe, the election not doing it, people can continue to see and know what will happen next. But this not just what they observe, now they put together. They talk about trust and then concern. It's they get keep concern in trust and transparency. They even repeat and say, it's a statement where I don't talk about trust, saying an issue. I don't talk about transparency, saying an issue. I don't talk about communication as an issue. I don't talk about integrity as an issue. He said, I don't talk all about it here. He says, so all them points there, I just want to re-emphasize them again. Then we talk about, say, in belief, say, dialogue or for talk, for discourse, say not the best. They say in office say excessive force and violence. Now whether any for rule or for solve situation in any country. They don't believe in the use of excessive force and I them police of Yamani any ten and they don't come on or shoot or kill person or the violence whether they happen. They say in office say that the on our way we election for day or country for day, you know. So in brief, I think like this are some of the main points where the elections observation mission is alone done inside the press conference don't say. And they watch me live on the yard and TV salon and we continue for the updates on what's going on. The time now at 3:24 Ubaya, my DC or inside salon at plus 5 hours, which is 8:24. So we go say then probably later I'll go on over to Saint Pierre and by Buddha, we then go for continue at some point. But in the meantime, you see what I tell you about how we try for put to make sense out of what Mr. Cornell read. We try to make sense out of you know, and we put by percentage for each of the parties. You know, somebody they say I left the void votes area. Well, waiting Mr. Cornell announced, he now announced anything for void votes. He now announced anything say this now void votes. What he announced, he just announced the number. Oh, let's check. Let's just stop and check. Let's see. I'm correcting that. Okay. Yeah. What's the input out the process this way the ECSL pull, they not pull anything they like void votes. So we just try to make sense and tabulate this input based on the percentages when they announce and the total way you know and how they allocate so each candidate. You see NDA get 14,829, which is 0.44%. Julius Malabio president gets 1,067,666, which is 56.95%. Okay. APC gets 793,751, which is 23.52%. Actually, yeah. So if you put all together, actually now, so it's supposed to be giving you 56.95% and the rest 43.45. Yeah. But I continue for wait because Mr. Collins again already. So I'll take some commentary and some people like they say I'm not well and very sick. What is going on in Sierra Leone? Well, continue for just see how they end. And somebody is we thank you for your time, all the take for analyze and interpret my event today. And I get some more comments. Somebody asked me to think I think say that result is return the second round. Well, I can say I'm not predict, but oh no, that is the way it is, right? Somebody say we miss the void votes. But I don't tell the person say we actually not put the void vote because the press release with the ECSL announced they're not called void votes. If let me tell you, let's say like at district level, say, for example, inside Kenema, now this amount, now President Julius Malab you get. Now this, now Samuel Kamara get. This other candidates get. Then the void ballot like this. Okay? But what's it there announced void ballot? And then we said no capture at all. Alright, somebody say just review say tension the Namashaka. And somebody will say the ruling party there and not on these results. And for so they say the friend it's not out and they put them plan for hope. Or at least now the SLP strong goal. And Khadija will say this election, people like say they don't think Adolphus they say he's we don't die back. And for so they say we don't want to be giving a free pass. Okay, I'll be like how they say Alpha correct the percentage for SLP. We don't want them to be in that area. It should be 31.64. Okay, 31.64%. Yes, 31.64%. I'll say the minimum will correct them. Of course, you get 31.54%. Yes, we put all together. It give 56.95. The engineer just correct that figure. The what TSMP gets Now the second column it will be 31 points, 64, not to 6.9. Apologies for that. We put all together and I 56.95%. And like I said, we just do a quick after we don't issue the results for long term, it make sense. And put them now. We will simple table and see how each candidate will do, and we'll put it into percentage, how much each percentage really person will get. Okay. Continue. So what did they say? Do I say I'm not break the result down for me? 60% how? Of course, you don't just go give me bulk. I think like this is the only issue people right now they get. You don't just go give me a bulk 60%. You know, if you're able to break down, people are able to understand, say, this 60% like this and this and this and this and this. But for that, I give you no more blanket, so, you know, it's a little bit confusing. I'm going to say the calculation not correct. How I say 56% don't get why the total of this. Yeah, then a mistake on the side. I just don't talk to the engineer for that change. I'm actually at 31.54% I didn't get a mistake. We correct them. Yeah. So I'll just make that clear. And I'm sorry, see, not probably this table. It frustrates you. Partial result 40% south and it's 20% from the north. Abdul Salam, they say, we don't believe, say, Corner don't bring fat back home. Abraham, they say, we forget the source right before publishing. They say, will deliberately be a second round. The APC will win after they block all the leakages. Kenja, they say, the APC percentage is supposed to be 43 something percent. Camille, they say, definitely, it's a second round ago. The APC for women after they block all the leakages. Kenya said the APC percentage is supposed to be, English side is trust. And people are not being fed again in this country. All right. We'll get all of that, and now at 3:30 and 8:30 in the salon, we'll take a quick break again. Probably after a quick break, we'll come and wrap up, and maybe I'll do that to send the prayer and Bible, and then we'll continue. Because don't forget, say, today we don't hear the main thing that we have for today. We don't hear the press conference from the Elections Commission. We don't hear the press conference from the European Union. And so nothing much right now, unless if we want to engage with people and think, already we don't show you that people inside with the man and the streets. Otherwise, we don't go to the for end the broadcast so that people can relax. And people will continue to monitor how the process takes place. But don't forget to say this part TVS, we will report and let people decide. And but they can play a non-violent song. Then after that, we will continue the program and just try for that. So engineer, set, we can take non-violence music as people will continue or follow the discussion. What happened?
Women they team in our country. 5 years rule not to 5 days. Before like we self like the old days. See me now. This election no sonko. Vote with conscience, no ronko. No violence, no puskas. Before stop the thing when we this man. Get now we first forget we safe. We want peaceful election. Don't forget what happened yesterday. We know what make it go be again. I want make me no sense. 2023 election. No violence. No campaign, no fat fight. We all know one. Silence no one. We all know one. We all peaceful. We need love and unity na in we want to. Go sports fest we no need Sierra Leone and trust we all now want know. Now the time is for talk to you never. This election we know one never. Let we expect to love one another. So that the green, white and blue they go further.
What's in bang with the game safe? If we judge the facts we safe. By now we for don't learn sense. Now turn this from make we embrace we safe. Life no gets replacement. Make we live violence and then ash movement. Then we put Mama Salon first and together we work for development.
Kwani to let me know. Yayo. Kwani to let me know. Yayo.
Yeah. Salye musical tinka arifi andingol on fi election or election na yenin dirgol na pirgol na wartin dirgol yoka hatti ya wata namo andu da omo ina lady mending nele baba koto jaja kauyaye or election na gere
but the colors of a count to the top but try but them be bad and see me they are lunka them fula them kissy them kono them mende them mandingo all make leave a swan
man the red papana green the be na orange the men the blue
yes.
But all that no matter now so we can laugh back now oh we in love with the green white and blue.
I wonder where we the fit we safe where we no like we safe where we the hate we safe we the use violence among us we not me and you for bring changes inside this election. Forget about the tribe, forget about the particular. Now we force for like we safe. We want peaceful election. Don't forget what happened yesterday. We know what make it go be again.
I want make me no sense. 2023 election. No violence. No campaign, no fake fan. We are now one. Salute now one. We are now one. Just peaceful, no fake fan.
Now the Sierra Leone Network on the Right to Food, in partnership with Civil Peace Service and McKinney Artist Union, bring you this message with support from the German government.
Master J on the I want make me no sense. 2023 election. No violence. No campaign, no fake fan. We are now one. Salute now one. We are now one. Just peaceful, no fake fan.
A lot of things to happen today. Welcome back. A lot of things to happen today. One time, I thank you. What on there as we continue for give updates on the election until today they don't announce the full result. Okay. When they don't announce all the full results, then at the time election broadcast will be done. But today I want to tell you thank you. Continue for subscribe and share and watch the program. I comment on TV Salon, TV SALONE, and Wiyard, WIYARD. We're on YouTube, we're on Facebook, we're all over our other channels, and also be on our website www.tvsalon.com. We don't give a lot of information today. You don't see the next press conference. You don't see the ECSL press conference. You don't see the European Union press conference. We don't show you videos of what's happening at different sites. We don't talk to correspondent in various areas. So for now, we can shut down, and later on we'll come back again on if something very, very interesting happens, we will capture. But in the meantime, we're going to talk to a reporter and engage the country and everything there. Until then, once I want to all thank you. And I'll continue to subscribe to TV Salon, continue to share the link, add. So to right now, I'm already watching on both the channels. I'm over 1,000. Once I want to thank you. One of the log up, not go far, it was just a short one. Or I can go back safe and watch the program all the way because we don't come back. When something other things like that. On the meantime, stay with TV Salon, stay with Riyadh, and continue for trust and wait for the 40% when Mr. Collins will announce in the next 48 hours. Until then, God bless you all and continue to stay with TV Salon every day.
Nimeta degilande, ta coriande, tago tigi go sego. Nimeta degilande, ta coriande, tago tigi go sego. Infero tabante, mi informa, yande kamali mama. Infero tabante, mi informa, yande kamali mama.